Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Invictus Gaming versus Navi for the Alienware Cup, brought to you by Beyond the Summit. Myself here, LD, as well as Merlini, joined us all the way from Las Vegas to cast some fantastic Dota. Of course, sponsored by MasterCard, Alienware. Shout out to dpmlicious of DPM Interactive, our organizer, for making this fantastic event possible. It's all a run-up to the International 3, which begins this August. Merlini in Game 1. We saw some great play from IG, particularly Faith on that silencer.
Right, and Ferrari. I mean, these are the top tier teams. TI1 winner, TI2 winner, and they're all squaring off today. And it's an incredible game.
They've been, both of them, struggling the past few days, but I mean, they're still top teams. I saw some people questioning the hexagons. You can't, until these teams show up to TI3 and perform poorly, you cannot say that they're anything but 8s, 9s, and 10s for the most part. They are defending champions. They are top teams. We'll hop inside the draft now and see what's going to happen in game number 2. So with that being said, it's a Batrider Lifestealer for IG.
Ooh, first Batrider I've seen.
Oh, this is a lot to give away. And
they got Visage for it. Is that worth it?
I like Visage, but
not that much.
Some teams like him that much. They get Weaver, though. They do get a hero that's fantastic against Lifestealer. You mentioned
and Batrider, too.
And the Batrider, hard to kill, lanes well against him, can at least trade evenly, if not maybe even come out on top in that lane with an early magic stick. And it opens up Navi's options here.
But Invictus Gaming, again, banning out the Wisp. That is so important versus Navi. Only win that Navi has picked up in this tournament has been with Wisp on their side. And that was actually kind of a stomp by Navi. But aside from that, they've been coming up with nothing.
Yeah, it's been a little bit short for them. Every game that they've lost, there's still been those moments. Against RNG Sports, both games, it felt like the games were going to turn around. It's not that there still seems to be that spark with Navi, where they get on a roll, they start to make things happen, but I think they just need to start a game the right way. Get out to an early lead, don't overextend or make silly mistakes, and just play solid, stable Dota. You can't throw a Hail Mary and win that way every single game, and it feels like right now that's kind of what they're relying on.
Right, last game they actually switched the roles a little bit, so Havos, instead of being the safe lane farmer, he was the aggressive support Lina, and Kuro usually being the supporter. He was on the
emphasis on aggressive.
Right, so he was caught out of position. Havos was caught out of position a couple times, and actually, I mean, Kuroki played a pretty solid game, but there wasn't any like, oh my god, ridiculous shackle shots, but that was mainly just because they got initiated on most of the time. So I think that if they just switch back to their traditional roles, give Havos a hero that is allowed to play super aggressively, whether that be Alchemist or usually Lifestealer, then I think that they can get off to a much better start. But that triple lane going poorly for them just set them up for a very bad early to mid game.
Of course, guys, if you haven't already heard, there is a Dota TV ticket available for this tournament. It's $7.99. You get to watch all of these teams, these fantastic games, with access to first-person replays and our commentary. A word of caution is the commentary may not be perfect. Apparently, it's quite choppy. Routing has been an issue to the Chinese servers. But with that being said, just for the first-person perspectives alone, and if you want to support the tournament, I think it's well worth considering the purchase. Big shout out to DPM for making that ticket possible, and for Valve, and well, for Navi. Now their third pick of the draft. What are they going to go for? They have a pretty wide open start to this thing. They've got the Weaver. He can be a part of a tri-lane versus the Lifestealer. He can be a solo. They'll go Naga here, and now they get a hero that can lock down and be really kind of pester the Lifestealer in the team fight.
Indeed, Lifestealer is not going to have an easy time. First off, Weaver is just very, very good versus Lifestealer, just being able to scooch you away from open wounds, and Swarm just kind of crushing him during Rage, as well as a Naga Siren with the Sleep. And they can also choose to go to other route, which is if he rages, you just Song the Siren, and Lifestealer is the only one awake, and you just focus him down with the net and get as much damage on him as possible, sometimes even killing him before that Rage is up. But Invictus Gaming, they've definitely done their research. Firstly, they banned Wisp. Secondly, they took Rubik last game, they took Rubik this game, and I think denying Kuroki, Rubik, as well as denying Puppey, Chen, and Enchanters, although that hasn't happened this game, and putting Havos on something that he's a little bit more unfamiliar with, whether it be Spectre, whether it be Lina. These are all working in their favor in terms of the drafting phase.
Yeah, Navi get a hero that you wanted to see from them last game, the Shadow Demon. They get a fantastic way to control the Lifestealer and try and bait or wait out his rage, I should say, between Disruption and Purge. He doesn't really counter Lifestealer per se, but he helps your team to deal with him. Wait out the rage, then look to turn the fight around. Navi have a team of 3 heroes that really can slow down the Lifestealer, and I mean, even Visage, with Familiars, just the amount of physical damage they do, Lifestealer is fairly low base armor. I feel like all 4 of their heroes in some way help control the Lifestealer and limit what he can get done in these fights.
So these lanes are already starting to develop pretty clearly. We see Visage, Naga, Siren, Shadow Demon, most likely the triple lane for Navi. I think it'll probably go defensive triple lane though. And on the side of IG, we have Lyciel, Rubik, Jakiro as the triple lane, and Bat Rider solo. Probably paired versus the Weaver if they can, if Navi can manage it. That's definitely favor of Weaver, I think.
Yeah, Navi are on the Radiant side, so if they want to go aggressive tri-lane, it would be the better side to do it on. You can pull that camp that's near the lane. You can also contest the pull. They do have good lockdown, and if they catch Rubik or Jakiro, they could probably kill them and get a first blood, but it all comes down to IG's positioning. Killing Lifestealer is a much taller order. We'll see what they go for. A lot of teams have been running Naga Siren solo mid. I'm curious if that's an option. IG...
Bringing Sexy back.
Yeah, they're bringing... That's a great way to put it. They go for the Morphling. He was the absolute terror of the International too. There were photoshops and memes made of Morphling the size of Godzilla descending upon Seattle, and he's not quite as strong nowadays, but he's still mostly the same hero. Let's see what IG can make happen.
I mean, I think this is a fantastic pick. Firstly, they don't have any stuns and any silence. I mean, they have the Gargoyle stun, but that's minimal. And they have no way of really catching a Morphling. He's just pretty much free to go to town and just replicate wherever he will. And also, this takes a lot of focus off the Lifestealer. They already have actually three very strong heroes versus Lifestealer with Weaver, Naga, Siren, Shadow Demon, as we discussed before. And if Morphling can try and take a little bit of that heat away from Lifestealer, or just like be a backup carry, I think this works very well for Invictus Gaming.
Shadow Demon will have to be their main weapon against the Morphling. Obviously, Soul Catcher helps you chew through his high armor, helps you to burst him as quickly as possible when he's strength morphing before he gets too healthy, and you've got Purge to kind of kite him, slow him down in the fights, and make illusions that are stronger because he's a very stats-heavy hero with Disruption. It's not enough. Like you said, they don't have full stuns. This last pick will be crucial. I don't think they have Dendy's hero yet. What is in the pool? They banned 3 Dendy heroes: Windrunner, Puck, Storm. We did see a Kuroki Windrunner, but that's also something Dendy likes to play. I guess the silence would be nice against Morphling early to mid game.
It's good versus Lifestealer too.
Yeah.
I think it fares decently versus Bat Rider.
It really limits their late game. If they go that route, IG have Lifestealer, Bat Rider, Morphling. You are not beating that late game unless you're very far ahead with Weaver Naga.
The thing about it is Navi might not get to late game though, even though they had a Spectre with the Radiance the other day, and even though they had a decently farmed Viper, they don't actually make it past 35 to 40 minutes because they are a very aggressive team. High risk, high reward. One of the few teams venturing forth and doing an aggressive triple lane. It didn't pay off last game, but still, we know that they just love to play aggressively. Havost in particular.
Is it going to be a Havost Lina? That's the big question. Kuroki's on the Naga. It looks like they're keeping Havost on support duty, at least for this game. Funnick handling the Weaver. That's your 3 position. Maybe even your 2.
Who's Dendy going to play? Lina?
Dendy Visage? There is no way. There must be some hero swaps. Is it a solo mid-Visage? Is there any chance?
I think it might be solo mid-Naga Siren.
And they're going to swap heroes, you think?
I think so. That's what I was doing. I've never seen Dendy play Visage, ever.
I have no idea how good his micro is. I'm sure it's decent. He's Dendy.
Regarding this last pick, though, Lina is pretty good if is a shotgun Morphling. If he tries to EB, you can just own him with magic damage.
Especially if you get a Soul Catcher off.
Right.
My goodness.
But usually Ghost Scepter is a very good pickup versus Naga Siren. Instantly dispelling that ensnare is just incredible.
Yeah, and it's something that a lot of these heroes can farm. Rubik, Jakiro are decent farmers as far as supports go. We're inside the game. It's game 2 and our final match of the group stages. IG versus Navi. IG leading the set 1-0, looking for another win here today. Navi, they've traveled a long way to get to China, but they've met the Great Wall of China so far. 430, handling the Lifestealer. Is he going mid? He normally does. YYF, the Bat Rider, probably heading towards the off lane. A lot of pool regen for 430. Faith will be taking up the role of the Jakiro. He was sensational on that silencer. Chuan refusing to use his real name. He'll be playing to 6th until IG wins another championship. Joe, last but not least, he'll be playing the Morphling, and he'll be farming in a defensive tri-lane.
And on the side of Navi, we have a couple heroes already being pulled. Kuroki on the Naga Siren, starting out with a Poor Man's Shield, Branch, and 2 sets of pulled regen from Puppy. We see Dendy on the solo mid Lina. Again, pulled 2 sets of regen again by Puppy. Puppy's just very poor at this point. He did have wards bought by him, but Puppey is on the Visage. Havos again on a support role on the Shadow Demon, and Funnick looks like he will be the solo safe lane Weaver.
So we'll break down these matchups a little more. Safe lane Weaver against a Bat Rider. Interestingly for Funnick, no magic stick to start. I mean, normally you see that right away. I guess Weaver's not going to die anyway, but obviously getting the charges is nice. Pretty even matchup, maybe a slight edge to the Weaver because he's in the safe lane. Mid lane, Lifestealer versus Lina. Just a bizarre matchup, to say the least. And then our tri-lane. We can break the tri-lane down last, but Merlini first, how do you feel about these two 1v1s?
So I think bottom lane is a watch. I've seen this matchup quite a few times before. Unless there is a drastic mess up or mistake by either of these heroes, I don't think we'll see too much in the way there. I think that Funnick will have a better time CSing simply because he's in a safe lane, and YYF always has to worry about the threat of being just chased down from 2 screens away. But again, not too much in the way of that lane. In the mid lane, this is a very unusual matchup. First, Icefield does not go mid very often. Secondly, Lina does not go mid very often. But if Dendi can keep that uphill advantage and hit a couple of stuns early, looks like Ferrari already dodged one, then he can get pretty decent CS. But I think there's very little kill potential for Dendi there unless he just plays incredibly.
And then the top lane. We have a Naga Visage Shadow Demon tri-lane. A lot of burst damage, a lot of initiation. But I do feel they need a couple of levels. You need at least level 2 Riptide to really start to make things happen. You'll want access to at least 1 point in the net. Visage, he's good at level 1, but he gets a lot stronger around 2 or 3. So as for that tri-lane, they need a few levels to come online. And IG, it's a pretty strong defensive tri-lane. Supports that can disengage well with Ice Path, with the Rubik Lift, and then a carry who's very hard to kill in the Morph lane.
So for top lane, things are going pretty well for IG. Firstly, they haven't blocked the spawn yet, so Navi may be able to contest it, but they don't actually have that good heroes in order to like creep still and get the last hits on those. We have Havos again. He's probably going to get Disruption level 1, Soul Catcher level 2, and Poison at level 3. He won't have any good AoE to deal with it. Meanwhile, they have Rubik, who can just Fade Bolt, instantly kill them, as well as Jakiro, who can Ice Path to steal them if they want. But looks like they already double stacked it, and they've also blocked a big spawn so that Navi can actually pull that.
Yeah, interesting. Navi not able to get the pulls, but they are contesting the pull nicely. I do want to point out Dendi is really punishing 430 mid. 430, he was pulled a lot of regen. He's chewed through every last bit of it. Dendi posting up in the mid lane. Rage is deployed by 430, but backup comes from Faith. And Dendi probably giving up her first blood. However, 430 is low. Can Dendi get this kill? He gets the first blood. 2v1, Dendi Mon does it, but Faith secures the kill in the end. He took one early point in Fiery Soul, and that definitely made the difference. This is very unorthodox, but hey, it worked beautifully.
Wow, that right-click damage from Dendi. I did not expect that first blood to go in the way of his favor, but he's doing an excellent job of out-harassing the Lifestealer.
That was manly play from him. To just stand and fight, stand and deliver. A lot of players would have backed off, but Dendi, he knew he would die if he ran, so he says, I'm going to outlast you, I'm going to get this first blood. And he does, and the other thing is, both teams actually rotate heroes off that top lane. Puppey, he rotates towards the rune. I didn't actually catch who got the 2-minute rune. Oh, that was the haste of Faith, excuse me. Brain is a bit of a scrambled eggs at this point in the day, guys. But
wow,
thank you.
Ferrari already at half HP again. Dendi is just harassing. This early point of Fire Soul is definitely playing.
Yeah, he almost doesn't even care if he hits these stuns. Obviously, he'd prefer to, but he still gets the buff from the nuke. And he can continue to auto-attack a bit faster. 430 is low, and Dendi could maybe dive this. He doesn't want to take the risk. Rage was baited out. Now they make a go on Faith top lane. They've netted him, but that Ice Path caught too. That wave over the top does a lot of damage, a lot of work against Puppey, and now the chase is on. Havost is probably going down here because Zhou has another wave. The defensive disrupt. He salves up. He'll get out alive, but the top tri-lane just not going well for Navi. Good news is, Funnick is trading evenly bottom, and Dendi is crushing mid, but they are losing this tri-lane, that's for sure.
Yeah, Dendi is just absolutely crushing Ferrari mid. He's almost level 6.
It's like someone lit a fire under his ass. How appropriate after playing Lina, but he is really playing on a different level from what we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he's going to go. YYF is actually going a bottle. What is Ferrari going?
Oh, Funnick gets pushed back into a flame break. Sakuchi cooling down, but I think it's going to go the other way if YYF commits to this. Funnick's low. He'll Sakuchi out, and he's going to find a very lucky regen rune. He bottles it, he uses it, and that's going to really hurt YYF, who will have to go back to base, or if not go back to base, then certainly do a bit of bottle crowing. So you were saying, excuse me.
Yeah, Ferrari only able to pick up a magic stick right now. I think that Dendy already has his boots and a bottle, and he has 600 gold. He's extremely farmed.
He's Oliver Twist right now. He's just begging for breadcrumbs. My goodness.
And meanwhile, Zoe on the top lane is 14-3 for CS. He's doing a little bit better than Kuroki, but the tri-lane's faring a little bit better off just because of that pull and because they already skilled 1 kill on Puppey. But we see these two supports already.
This
it's
could
going
be
to be a 3v2.
This could be big for IG. Chuan's wrapping around. Sixth is going to be here. Man, that's a mouthful and a half. Wave catches 2. Now the Fade Bolt. Kuroki just says, screw it. I'm out of here, folks. And now they're going to look to pick off a boast with these. It'll go to Zhou. No, he stops to hit a creep. A clear misclick from him. Nonetheless, the kill goes their way. And the Lifestealer driven into the jungle. 430. He doesn't even have Infest yet. He wants to get it so he can heal back up. But all the while, Dendy dominating mid. So he's won his lane. That much is clear, Merlini. What can he do next? It's great to get a kill as Alina mid, but how do you continue to snowball?
They need to try and salvage his triple lane. Probably try and kill Joe while he is still relatively weak. That's the thing about aggressive triple lanes. If you die once, you pretty much just straight up lose your lane from there because you can't come back by creep pulling, especially with this spawn block. So things aren't going well for them, and Navi, again, one of the few teams that are actually risky enough to play this aggressive triple lane, but it hasn't paid off for them last game, did not pay off for them this game, and then he needs to kind of alleviate the pressure on them and alleviate the pressure on their supports in triple lane, allow them to catch up on levels.
We're going to have a bit of a clash here.
Ooh, another smoke.
Chuan smoked up again. He wants to make something happen mid, but it's actually Puppey who skates away top. And then towards the bottom, they all scatter to the winds. Navi are going to dodge all of the bullets. It feels like the Matrix. Meanwhile, Funnick giving chase. YYF is level 5. They might make a go here. Dendy, he's got phase boots. He's very speedy, this one, but they need that setup. He'll pop his Firefly. The poison to scout him out. Dendy goes for a blind light strike array. That's a low percentage play. Meanwhile, middle lane, Puppey, a very high percentage play for IG. They find a kill, and Navi whiff, and that's just the power of Batrider, a very tough hero to wrangle.
Very nice reflexes by him. I mean, he just immediately, as soon as he saw the lane, he just had to move out to the right.
And it's also because Havost has been dying, does not have boots, and if he had boots, maybe he gets in range there.
Right. So Kuro, he's doing okay on farm, but he has poor man's shield, not even having treads yet, though. I don't even know if he's going treads, but he does have a boost of Elven Skin. Band of Elven Skin, rather.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, the farm's okay on Kuroki. He's getting towards level 6. Even though the tri-lane didn't go that well, and Zhou's now starting to pull ahead in terms of farm and actually looks to fight his way out against Kuroki. He pops the replicate, he drops low. End of the day, we can say IG won that lane. I don't think it's as bad as it could have been, simply because at least Kuroki's getting a lot of levels. He'll have access to Song of the Siren soon. Dendy won mid. I think the X factor here is that Funnick got that regen rune. After that, he's really pulled ahead. He's now 37-14. He was losing the lane slightly before it, but the lane has changed. Dendy is baiting. He's dropped his bottle, and Faith comes in, dropped an Ice Path, wanted to steal it. Dendy is playing with their minds. He has another Dragon Sleep, jams it in. Dendy, what a play. Opa, Dendy.
Oh, the chicken's going to die, though.
Oh, no. Well, as soon as I was praising him, he throws the chicken away. I've done it, Merlini. The jinx is in. The BTS curse strong as ever. That was still a sick play, though. Dodges the Ice Path. I can't believe IG went for that. That's like the most... It's clear that he was baiting there, but still a great play.
Right, and going back to the regen rune, not only did he pick it up, he bottled it as well, and very uncommon for people to get bottle in the side lanes now, but again, that just completely turned the tide against YYF, and he's going to be a long ways until his blink right now. Even with a couple of creep sacks, he's gotten a little bit unlucky with his regeneration rune, and we see a TP in top from Dendy.
Is he going to be able to find a kill here? Kuroki has access to the net, but you can wait for him after being netted up. They really need to chain the stuns immediately. There is no support in the line. Dendy comes in. He looks for a nuke, but great jukes by Zhou. Pops the replicate, heads to the right. He'll escape, really proving to be a slippery water creature. How appropriate. And meanwhile, end of the day for IG, they're a bit behind. Well, actually, they now pull ahead in terms of gold and experience, but they were a bit behind. It was only slight, and they're getting farm and a Morphling and a Lifestealer, but Faith gets caught. Laguna to the face, shotgun from Dendy. As much as he's finding a lot of kills, it's still a Morphling and Lifestealer who are doing okay. They are getting levels, and I still feel IG is the much better late game, but this courier could be in trouble. Dendy throws out a stun for extra. Are you kidding me? Gets the courier. All the couriers dying this game. Now Zhou waving into the tree, still netted up. Now Dendy throws out another stun. He won't connect this time.
Oh,
And
they
Navi
dropped the
will back
ward there
off.
too.
Now, disruption. No soul catcher for a Vost. It's pulling down. Faith is low. No soul assumption mana. Doesn't need it. So many nukes. So much damage. The frog's lifeless corpse still flapping its wings. Now
no,
Kuroki
rage!
pops the Song of the
Oh
Siren.
my goodness.
Ferrari, he had the opportunity to pop the rage. Doesn't get it off. Kuroki escapes. Puppy lives. And the rest of the team retreats safely.
Wow, where is their team
Jesus.
though?
What a game. Already, what a game. 8 kills, 10 minutes in. Merlini, this series is really delivering.
Yeah, indeed it is, and that was just a very nice tower dive by there. I'm just surprised that IG didn't react a little bit better. They had, I think they saw them drop this observer ward here, and then first off the support died right then, and then the chicken dive, but no rotation from awcup. I think he was a little bit low from taking out the creeps. He's desperately trying to farm his blink dagger.
Again, it's that regen rune. That made all the difference. It was even, he thought maybe he could get a kill on Funnick, but Funnick just able to get far enough away that the flame break didn't push him far enough back to actually die. And now Funnick has a haster and 1,000 gold and all his basic items up. He is your lead farmer for Navi. And I feel the Weaver this game could do a lot more than what we
smoked up in middle.
We saw of the Viper last game. Dendy smoked up, continues to rotate around the map. The phase boots giving him a lot of mobility. He walks right past the sentry and observer. Fantastic vision from IG, but only if they're watching. There are no pings. It seems Dendy may have slipped by undetected. He's bypassed their defenses, and a look for a kill now. YYF getting close to that blink dagger. It would be a horrible time to die. However, Puppy has been spotted, and YYF, well, he sees Puppy aggressively moving here. He must assume there's backup. He does. He backs off. Great map awareness from him. IG showing some defensive poise, not getting picked off. End of the day for IG, they are farming a lifesteal and a morphling. Even if they are a bit behind, you can't count them out.
Yep, lifesteal or morphling has not died yet this game.
They're going in now. The swarm is deployed. Funnick gives chase, but they got to focus on YYF. There's no way they're killing Joe, not without a lot more chain stun. They actually work on the creeps, and then Funnick says, well, screw this, I'm out of here. Scuttles away. While that's happening, IG applies some momentum towards the middle lane, and we see Kuroki has 2 TPs, just pushing out top. Radiant Glyph deployed. 430, phase boots online, and Navi, an absolute minefield of wards for them. They really want to stop this morphling from farming. They want to tower dive him, but somebody's got to give the lane some momentum if they're going to do that.
Do you see this courier's corpse right now? It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it was wagging its legs around earlier. I did mention it briefly, but it's still not moving.
I can't keep my eyes off of it.
They need some sound effect. It looks so peaceful, just swimming through the air, upside down.
So Rubik trying to desperately get level 6. Same with Faith. Both of the supports on IG are very under level right now. But on the same side, Navi, neither 6th level on Puppy and Avos. Wow. Zoa is just trying to dodge all these ganks right now.
No, this one might be hard. Yeah. Disruption, Soul Catcher. Can he get out? He doesn't have Replicate. There is Laguna Blade. It should be enough. Throws it in. It is the kill. And there's no rotation. Meanwhile, it's Funnick on the backline, chasing down Chuan. He'll find one. Navi just finding these pickoffs left, right, and center. And even though IG have the better late game,
where has Batrider been?
There is a point in the game where if you just get picked off too much, it doesn't matter if you have the better late game. You're not going to take it. YYF still doesn't have Blink. He continues to farm. 13 minutes in.
This is a very slow Blink dagger.
It's amazing how much that regenerate has turned the tides of this game. Without it, I think he would have kept even in the lane and probably had it by now, but just got crushed by Funnick after giving that up.
Right, they're forced to fight 45, and Morphling's already... I mean, he has to farm a lot as is. That's just the way the hero is. And Lifesteal kind of got destroyed in middle, so he has to play catch-up farm too. And meanwhile, YYF has to catch-up farm, so they're kind of fighting undermanned all the time, and that is not where you want to be. And they just forced to give it this T1 tower just because they've continuously lost a couple of fights there. And Navi has very good vision up there, and IG is slowly losing control of their jungle.
This feels like a pub. Dendy is going Shadow Blade. Ooh. He's picked up a Claymore. Gives you that initial burst. Fiery Soul gives you a bit of attack speed. I suppose the Lina does
escape.
Yeah, it gives you a phase boots. Shadow Blade, you have a lot of mobility.
Right.
But let's make no mistake about it. This is pretty much uncharted territory for solo mid Lina to start with, and then going Shadow Blade phase boots. Very unconventional build.
Right, I think he's going to have a lot of trouble if he gets lassoed in, but then again, they always have Song of the Siren to try and break IG's combo right now. And meanwhile, Chuan has reconnected. So, checking out last as the Knives, we see Weaver on top and Lina close behind a second. But in terms of net worth, 3 of Navi's heroes on top. Morphling had a decent start, but he's died one time. And forced to always play defensively. Use Replicate to just to try and escape a couple of ganks, and he's had to play very, very cautiously.
I mean, the big thing for IG though is even though they're behind, they have the better late game, or at least similarly good late game. But I think the main thing is they have the Blink Batrider bombs coming soon. Yes, it's a late Blink Dagger. Yes, YYF has not played exceptionally well this game. He's had a bit of bad luck. He struggled. He hasn't died. He'll have a blink around the 14-minute mark, and if they can find some infest bombs, maybe use replicates to have Morphling snipe a few kills here there, could make the difference. Kuro caught bottom lane. Navi could TP react to this. They could net 430 under the tower. He pops Rage and TP's out. Could have netted him and run. What was he thinking? Panicked a bit and, well, pays for it with his life.
Yeah, nice infest there to finish him off.
Yeah, great play. And
smoke from Navi on top. We have Havos, quickly followed by Dendi and Puppy, looking for someone in the jungle.
Navi on the hunt. Can they find anybody? Zhou, he's been confident to farm this top lane. He'll push it out one more wave. He's got to know that the wraparound's coming. Maybe he just
he's morphing already.
He's already strength morphing. He's got... Nope, he's not doing it all the way. He's going to get caught now by Havost. He continues to give chase, and he tries to wave dash back the other direction. Does get the replicate off. Now replicates out to dodge the stun. Waves back. Big plays from Zhou, and I think off of that, he should escape. Tendi says, you ain't running from me. I've got phase boots, but it's not quite enough. Maybe he'll chase for this. I can't believe he's still going. I can't believe.
That was just incredible reflexes by Zhou there. As soon as he shot out Shadow Demon, he just ran left immediately and then replicate. Although there was a little bit of mismicro there, he was able to dodge that gank. So, I mean, Morphling, he's dodged so many ganks thus far.
That was, I mean, that again, like you said, that was just a sick play. He got replicate off at the last possible second, then he dodges the light strike away with it. If he doesn't, I think he dies there for sure, because Dendi has like...
With Soul Catcher.
Yeah, with Soul Catcher and like 900 plus nuke damage and burst, it's probably enough to bring him down. And we'll have a big smoke from IG. It's going to be another clash. Both familiar stuns just used. Could be a good moment for IG to come in. It's a fresh, shiny Blink Dagger, and they are going to punish Dendi for his greedy build. Caught by the lasso, pushed back in, and will fall. Shadow Blade won't help you there, and it also will be delayed. It wasn't online yet.
Dendi's actually falling behind in levels now. He was doing very well already, but he's only level 9 now. Lifestealer level 11, Morphling level 10, and you really need that Laguna Blade up and running. It just synergizes so well with Soul Catcher as well as Soul Assumption.
Yeah, the Laguna Blades, it's not the cooldown with Lina, because her cooldown's good at all levels. It's just the damage. It scales really freaking well. The cooldown does go down, don't get me wrong, but 225 extra damage this early, that makes a big difference. You can just Laguna Batrider when he jumps in, he'll lose over half his HP instantly. But the first Blink Dagger gank, a success for YYF and IG. They took game 1. They might take game 2 the way they're hanging on. They've got the Morphling, they've got the Lifestealer bombs. They're down by 3k gold, but in terms of experience, they actually lead the familiars. Sneak forward. 430 eats a double familiar stun, but an Ice Path flips Havos. Caught out of position, way too aggressive. Unfortunately, seems to be the tale of the day. And everybody's a little bit sad right now in the living room. I can hear them from here.
They did get a tower, though.
Yeah. Havost, though, it's just not his day. I mean,
yeah, so, I mean, YYF finally got his Blink Dagger and immediately making good plays with it. The longer they can delay this Shadow Blade from Lina, the better they'll be off. But 1570 gold on him as well as an Invis. I'm pretty sure he'll be able to pick it up even if they manage to kill him.
Here's your Infest Bomb from IG. Ooh. The armlet's up on Lifestealer. They have the Blink that we previously mentioned, and they're going to make a go now. Dendi, he's got an Invis rune. I don't think there's any detection here for IG. There's sentries, but I don't see any on the ground. Just an observer. They'll blink in. They'll lasso Funnick. They'll pull him back. Boom, shaka laka. They bring him down in a hurry.
Oh, he's going to walk right over to Sentry Ward. I wonder if they're going to ping it out. Well, they did.
It's about to wear off anyway. This rune doesn't have long for this world, and YYF blinks forward. Dendi, Flame Break back. It was such a great start from him. Masterful even, but 2 deaths. It's now actually been 3 over the past 5 minutes.
He's picked up the Shadow Blade on the bright side.
He does get it, but how much does the Shadow Blade do when it's been delayed a bit? The level 11 still not there. It felt like it could have been amazing if he just got it without these deaths, but now it'll still be a nice little pickup. Not sure that it'll be quite the snowball item it could have been. Yeah,
I mean, Batrider is almost level 11 right now, and he'll be able to pick up dust as soon as he spots out the Shadow Blade. I feel like I haven't seen Kuroki much often. He was doing a lot in the triple lane early, but Naga Siren does need her farm, and she needs levels too. She's only level 10 right now. Having that level 2 Song of the Siren for 120-second cooldown instead of a 3-minute is a big difference.
Navi are really favoring the mid-game items, especially on Funnick. He's gone drums, treads. They want to keep the pressure up, but actually they've spotted 430 in the jungle, as you mentioned. Unfortunately, they don't have a Batrider. They don't have that fantastic go on someone from anywhere initiator. And the other thing is IG's carries are really hard to kill. Morphling and Lifestealer are so friggin' tanky, so elusive, and Navi only one real stun in the Light Strike array. I feel that's the big thing that's hurting them. You mentioned it early in the draft was they were lacking stuns. It made the Morphling a sound pick, and although they got Lina with the last selection, it's been hard to find more than a kill here and there. Oh no, Ice Path clips Havos, now the wave over the top, in comes 430. Nice defensive disruption to buy him some time. Joe on the run, Funnick giving chase, but Chuan's picked up the first kill. The Song of the Siren used defensively by Navi, and they might have to back off Kuroki. Now he looks to run away. Batrider heading south, and it looks like Funnick could be in trouble. It's actually Puppy, caught out Dendi, waiting to throw his Light Strike array, but he's trying to time it out, so 430's Rage ends, and in the end, it just lasts too long. He'll get picked up. Now Chuan, no lift, but has Sakuchi, could continue to give chase. IG just had the better initiation, and they just seem to be predicting Navi
What was
perfectly.
Navi trying to do with it? They slept, and I thought that was pretty good. They were trying to minimize casualty after Havos had fallen, but they don't really have anything to set up. Again, they lack stuns. They don't really have any silences either, so Ferrari can just walk up, Rage, and
another blink. Not again. YYF, you master. He's really been struggling in the laning stage, but now that he's got the blink, he's making things happen. The Ice Path on Havos, they jam it in, easy kill, and now Chuan scurries away, moving pretty quickly for a little Rubik.
They're really coming together here in this game.
The teamwork's better, the execution is better, and they just have the better lineup for this stage of the game. Easier for them to get pickoffs, and harder for Navi to get theirs.
Lina, I mean, she has her Shadow Blade right now, but sitting at 853 HP. That is so low.
It's a nice offensive item, but at this point, does the physical damage matter that much? 430 has an armlet and 9 armor because of that. Oh, well, plenty of HP. Dendi's not solo killing him without an initiating stun, and he is the initiating stun.
And they have so many sentries because they have a Weaver.
Yeah, so like you said, they kind of work at cross purposes there. He makes the Weaver's job harder in some ways. And also, Morphling's got a Ghost Scepter. You mentioned how good it is against Naga's Net. It also gives you great stats. +7 to all attributes. Sure, Laguna Blade could potentially hurt, but it buys him time, it makes him harder to kill, and it just allows IG to slowly march towards that late game where I feel, not just because they have the better carries, but also because they have the Batrider, they should have the late game advantage.
Right, I feel like BKB would be a pretty strong choice on Morphling. If he just waves in with BKB and a Rage on Lifestealer, I think they can pick off 1, maybe 2 heroes before those magic immunities wear off. And
now with smoke from Navi, they're in the jungle, they're on the move. Hakuna Matata. They don't want to hold hands with IG, though. They want to make something happen. Manta's coming soon for Kuroki. He will lead the way. He'll be a bit of a bait here. IG, with a 5-man party of their own descending upon this lane. Unfortunately, I don't know how this is going to go. They catch Kuroki. He's your defensive hero. In comes the Boast. He gets the disrupt off, but he's been pulled very far back. The Flame Break brings Kuroki down. No Song of the Siren for you. Now 430 on the run. Laguna's there. Zap to the face. He'll take a spill. Now it's up to Zhou. Can he solo carry this? Chuan marches in. Chuan marches out. Chuan can't make up his damn mind which way he wants to go. Now Zhou on the run. Not dead just yet. Faith dropping quickly. Funnick giving chase. I think he'll bring him down. Navi starting to find a couple of kills. They get the Lifestealer. That's the big one. But IG, they don't sustain devastating losses, and they do kill off the Naga, and now they back off.
Yeah, slightly late defensive disruption by Havos there, but very nice flame break right after disruption by YYF.
Yeah, it actually was. It wasn't so much that it was. He couldn't have done it sooner. It was late, but there was just a quick pullback and unable to get in range in time. As soon as he could, he disrupted, but the damage was already done.
He was already at like 300 HP, and then combo that with the pretty long casting animation from Naga Siren, and again, the nice flame break by YYF. He was not able to get that Song of Siren off. I thought he was pretty close to, though.
And he's not going for the Lincoln's build, which is the build that was popular at the International too. Generally, if you're Naga, a lot of the Chinese teams, when they ran the Naga, would run her as the 2 position. They'd run something like a Morphling or a Lone Druid, solo mid, or even safe lane as the primary damage dealer. And the Naga would just get a Lincoln's to help ensure that she could always get Song of the Siren off. And in this game, you're up against Batrider and Rubik. That's pretty much the only way you'll get locked down. It feels like maybe Lincoln's would be the better choice, but he appears to be going Manta.
Right, and speaking of Rubik, he already has his Blink Dagger. He's died only 1 time solo picked up by Funnick earlier in the game, but since then, 6, 1, and 5 on the support Rubik.
Wow, Chuan is hungry, and he is feasting on Navi. I mean, really a sensational performance from him, and a lot of it is that he's stealing Sakuchi. It's so hard to play against support Rubik with Sakuchi. How do you deal with that? I mean, Navi, they've got to have a gem, because otherwise you just Sakuchi. You can even dodge the Naga net if you don't have detection. So, well, maybe if they disrupt him, but he's always in and out of the fights. He's a constant pain in their rears, a thorn in their sides, and a general nuisance. In comes Dendy. He's got the Shadow Blade, but they've spotted him out. Net on 430. Now a blink in on a lasso back, but the disruption's there. Can they really fight under the tower? YYF low. Not out of the fight just yet. Now Kuroki tries to hoof it out. He's got Song. Is he gonna look to use it? Faith looking for an ice path. He does land one. The first casualty of war was Dendy. Nobody else has fallen yet, but Funnick might be next. There's your Song. Funnick down to about 80 HP, but the Song keeps him safe. Navi once again thinking about going in, but in the end they will retreat. Chuan, however, says, you ain't running for me. Not that easy, buddy. Instead, it's Navi hoops from the trap. Chuan, another Sakuchi, still running, still getting away, and Navi must continue this retreat. 430 goes in with the rage, the open wounds, a blink over the top onto Havos. Puppy getting caught out. Havos could be next. There's no Song. It's already been deployed. The ice path cast, and it will connect on Havos. Now Chuan leaping forward. It's all coming apart at the seams here for Navi. They lose 4, and it's basically a team wipe. The lone survivor, I believe, is Funnick. Didn't buy back. He narrowly escapes heads toward mid, but IG just, it's so much easier for them to initiate the Navi.
I mean, they only have Sakuchi for source of innocence, but check out these sentries. They have 1 right here, 2 over here, and 1 over here, but they still can't kill Chuan.
Oh, I was circling the dire sentry, but yeah, these they have 4. Oh, it's so painful.
That was nice chase by them,
And the worst part is you're spending all that gold to deal with a support. Oh, Ice Path actually going to catch Dendy. There's a Morphling replicate, but there's no gem just yet. And I think the scary thing for me is Joe, well, the really scary thing, he's got a 25-minute Ethereal Blade. He is going to feast on Dendy with 900 HP, Shadow Demon with 1,000. I feel like he can insta-gib almost any of these heroes, if not entirely by himself, then with one other teammate. Definitely can.
Yeah, again, Joe has been playing very astoundingly well. I think he's done a fantastic job of escaping ganks and kind of mitigating Morphling's Achilles heel, just being slightly weak in the laning phase and requiring so many items to become effective, but escaping with only 1 death, 3, 1, and 5 at this point, 25 minutes in the game, and finally getting his EB up.
Now, we're going to find out very soon if that Laguna Blade is the solution to this Ethereal Blade Morphling. It'll do a lot if he can get it off at the right moment, but it also goes the other way, where if you just quickly Ethereal Blade, Adaptive, and then wave in, you can probably kill Denny before he gets any of his spells off. So we'll see what happens, but it'll come down to who gets the proper initiation. Kuroki now popping the ultimate, or rather the illusions, but it looks like he's about to get caught. Actually baits it out, sends 1 illusion south, sends himself north, but IG are not entirely fooled by this, and Chuan has stolen the illusion army as well. He's got 4 Chuan. That's how big he's got in this game, and IG, they're pushing in this top lane. And they're going to look at a tier 1.
Yeah, nice try by Kiro there trying to do some sneaky moves, but Firefly with that flying vision is still very, very powerful. You can never forget about that. But 2-0-7 on YYF, again, kind of slow start for him. I think it was a rather late Blink Dagger, but look at his inventory now. Blink Dagger, 4-Zap, Gem.
I mean, he's been the engine for this team. Yeah. Wow. It was, frankly, Funnick did a great job there. He got lucky with the regen, but he did a great job in spite of that to start the domination after the gem, or after the regen. But the problem is, once you get Blinko Batrider, you're still a very powerful hero, even if you're slightly late. And IG, I think they can just sit back and farm. I don't feel like they have to force
They could
fights.
just do Roshan right now if they wanted to and force a fight there. If Navi decides to go in there, sure, they have Song of the Siren, but I don't think they have the farm or the levels necessary to take them out there.
Chuan is 6-1 and 10. You mentioned how big of an impact he was having earlier. The impact continues.
Oh, Dendy.
Oh no. Caught. He's got Shadow Blade.
They have Gem.
No way out. He's even gone Mask of Madness. Or no, sorry, Morbid Mask, but I imagine Mask of Madness is next. I don't think this is happening, Merlini. He takes 2 nukes to the face and he dies.
Look at this difference.
But Dendy is being stubborn at this point.
Look at this graph. That's just absurd. I think that, like, right when things started going poorly was as soon as YYF got his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, this is probably, well, he got it at 14 minutes, or maybe it was like right around here. But yeah, then it started to dip down, and we'll see the graph update live. Pretty cool. 12K experience lead now for IG, and no rush. They have the better lineup to find the pickoffs. They have the better late game. They have the Roche advantage. I would even say they have, well, if not the better late game supports, then equally good with Rubik and Twin-Headed Dragon. Tons of AoE to do with Naga illusions. Tons of great spells for Rubik to steal. So certainly potent at that, and I think they'll just sit back and continue to farm. There's really no rush.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game, I mean, sure, their lineup's good on paper. They have SD set up for Lina, but with a couple nice plays for Morphling and YYF just being able to get those amazing lassos. A couple times Havos has defensively disrupted it, but still, he has been the engine to set up this amazing early mid-game for Invictus Gaming. He already has Boost of Travel now, too.
And if the locomotive, as though the locomotive needed more coal, he's now gotten, like you mentioned, the Boots of Travel. He picked up a 4-step a bit earlier. His mobility is absurd, and that means the Lifestealer's mobility is absurd. And of course, Zhou can be anywhere with his replicate. So they have their 3 highest impact heroes, their 3 cores, wherever they want at pretty much any moment. And that makes it very dangerous for Navi to split push, farm, and stall this game. IG really, strategically, their position is so strong.
Yep, and it looks like they are setting up for Roshan right now, constantly pushing out all the lanes. First, Morphling on the top lane with his replicate, and then, I mean, they have to constantly worry about Bat. Like, Funnick is in a kind of dangerous position right now. Sure, he has Dust on him, but he went Desolator instead of a more defensive item like BKB or Lincoln Sphere that we see a lot of Weavers get.
I do feel they need the damage. Like, they don't have enough right now, but the problem is he also needs to be tankier. The team needs the damage, but he personally is going to get blown up. So it's a rock and a hard place that he's caught between.
Lifestealer has his Basher right now, so even though he died once early, gave up First Blood, he's looking pretty good in terms of items too. So Zhou using the Replicate Illusion to tank that Roshan, and Ferrari taking it for the rest of the way down. Navi is very, very scared. Again, they can contest it with Song of the Siren, but I think they may be out of smokes right now.
Rosh is going to drop soon. The Aegis goes to Zhou, and now up to 3,500 gold. What do you go next here?
Oh, I mean, BKB, I think, would be a fantastic choice right now, just because he doesn't have to worry about getting bursted down by the Lina. Sure, Lina has been dying a lot, but that still doesn't, I mean, she still has the incredible amount of offensive firepower.
And speaking of offensive firepower, it's not offense he's lacking for. I think he's going Mask of Madness. He'll have it after this creep camp. I mean, maybe it's a casual Mask of Death. Nope, just kidding. It really is a Mask of Madness for Dendi. Jesus.
Who can he kill? I mean, they have a gem right now, and they're all sticking relatively close together.
And they're all tanky. I mean, if he hits the stun on Chuan, I think he can kill Chuan for sure. But here comes your Lifestealer Bomb. And they'll Boots of Travel to the top lane, and they may just head into their own jungle. The route is being drawn right now by IG. Actually, I guess predicting where Navi's going to be. They're hiding behind this tower, waiting to see if anyone pokes their head out. Navi not doing so just yet. And IG, they'll back off. They'll look to defend mid.
Yeah, YYF looking for a kill, but nobody is Kuroki TP'd middle a long, long time ago, even though his illusions were still top. But Zhou is just happily pushing away bottom lane. I don't think he has Replicate out, though, but so he can TP to the T2 tower in case Navi does decide to push.
Here comes YYF. He's got Firefly. He blinks in. Lassos up Funnick. They need to blow him up quickly. Chuan doesn't get a lift off. He doesn't need it. The song was deployed. It doesn't seem to matter. Puppy's falling. He'll fall. There's a gem on the floor. That's a big loss for Navi. 2 heroes hit the deck, and IG march forward. Game 2, well within their grasp. They now lead 22-8, and Navi just, the struggles continue. They struggled against IG in the end at the International 2, and it seems IG has their number here, even with the new roster. Habos suicides into 5, and the GG comes out. He decides to end in style, in classic, iconic Havos fashion. Straight into 5 enemy heroes he goes. He dies, and the game's over.
You gotta ban the Bad Rider though. Bad Rider, they have like defensive disrupt, they have demonic purge, they have Song of the Siren, they have net, they have so many things to try and, in theory, counter the Flaming Lasso initiate, but none of them.
And I feel you gotta ban Lifestealer against YYF or Zhou. They both know how to play this hero to perfection, unless you have a very specific draft to counter them, but Navi didn't quite have that.
Right, I mean, they even didn't get off to a good start too. Again, YYF didn't have the best time bottom, Lifestealer giving up First Blood middle, Zhou having like a 16-minute Ghost Scepter, I think, and Ghost Scepter treads. Sure, he dodged a lot of ganks, and he didn't die that much, but they didn't have the ideal start. No free farming Morphling, no fast and quick levels and farm on the Lifestealer, no fast Blink Dagger on YYF, and still, IG just kind of dominated them in the mid game.
Yeah, and I still had fun. I mean, end of the day, Dendi put on a show for us.
It looked so promising.
I think that was a bottle bait mid. I mean, the courier ended up feeding afterwards, so maybe he doesn't get style points for that, but it picks off Faith there. Faith takes the bait. That was a lot of fun. The group stages for the Alienware Cup have been a blast. You just joined us for the last 2 days, but thank you to everybody who's been tuning in the past 6. Once again, if you want to support us at Beyond the Summit and our coverage of the event, subscribe. We need food here. We need a backup generator for when the power goes out. Sorry about that again, but it's only $4.99. It goes a long way to making a difference. Of course, there's other ways to contribute. There's a Dota TV ticket, $7.99 for that. Or if you just want to watch, we still appreciate your viewership. But Merlini, that's going to wrap up our final match. And once Kawa's had a chance to update the group standings, we can take a look at those and see how things stand. It's time to move into the playoffs.
Do we know who our winner is?
Our winner of this group?
IG was 2-0. Tongfu.
Is it IG?
Tongfu was 4-2. I know that IG was 4-2 as well.
There might be a tie because they both won 2-0, right? So then it comes down to tiebreakers. We're about to find out the moment of truth. 6-2 on Orange and IG. Tongfu actually 4-3. That's not
IG
right.
Or
that doesn't add up to 8. Something's off here. We'll get it fixed. But in the meantime, Orange and IG, they're 6-2. They're on top of the group. And I guess it'll be a tiebreaker between them.
Right.
Of course, whoever gets first place in this group, they get seeded into the winner's bracket semifinals. So you skip 2 rounds of the winner's bracket by taking first. It's a big advantage.
But for 2nd through 5th, do they matter at all?
For 2nd through 5th,
just seeding
it affects who you play, which is interesting in Group B because last place in Group A is actually LGD China. I think a lot of people looked at that group and said LGD China and DK are the 2 strongest teams here, at least before the group stage started. So, do you really want to be 2nd? Do you want to have to play LGD China?
Do you want to face any of these teams? These teams
no, they're all tough, but I mean,
right.
I'd say LGD China's looking a bit stronger as of late. Well, we'll get the group standings updated. We'll maybe take a look at them later, but it does conclude the group stages. I believe we take a 3-day break and come back this Friday. There's Dota 2 Super League the next few days. There are a lot of these teams that are playing in the Alienware Cup are also playing in the Dota 2 Super League. That's why we have the break, so that we can provide, so that there's no conflict for the teams. They can do Alienware Cup. They can do the Dota 2 Super League. So Alienware Cup coverage will be on hiatus for a few days, but we'll be coming back soon. You, however, my friend, will be continuing to work hard.
It's been a fantastic series thus far. I mean, the games have been incredible. We've only seen a very few lopsided games. I think the series before this, before the Navi IG, was kind of lopsided. But, I mean, the games have been incredibly close. These are some top-tier teams, top-tier drafts, and just amazing Dota in general.
Yeah, the games have been great. We've seen the teams unafraid to be creative, to be different. End of the day, nobody gets knocked out of these group stages. You get to see all your favorite teams for at least 2 more matches, no matter what, even if they're knocked out first. So thank you for being a part of today's coverage. We hope to see you guys more in the future. We'll put up an updated set of standings and maybe a bracket if we have it available after today's broadcast. But for now, we're going to wrap it up. It's our final day of group stages in a few days' time. The playoffs begin tomorrow at 2 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which is 5 p.m. Singapore General Time. We will be back with the Dota 2 Super League semifinals, our first of 3 days of Dota 2 Super League coverage. We hope to see you there tomorrow, and in 2 days, we'll also start our Corsair Cup coverage. It's a North American European event, but for now, it's LD, Merlini, and the rest of Beyond the Summit signing off. Have a great night, guys.